Good evening from Seattle. Here to test out the major update to the 737 series, just published by PMDG late today in the afternoon. So I just got home from work and I want to check out what's happened to the 737. I saw some of the preview videos. I read Robert's post, and what we essentially have is a 737 set up to the current 777 features. So what I'm going to do is do a very quick flight from Seattle to Portland, which is actually done by a 737-900ER as well as the Embraer 175 by Alaska Airlines and its regional affiliate. So as Robert mentioned, and as the previews indicated, now we have our ground operations consolidated in the tablet. So you're going to have your ground connections, your ground service vehicles, your door management, your ground connections, your ground services. I also went ahead and downloaded the latest nav data, which you can get from here. And I think I downloaded it. Yeah, so the update's complete, and we have the current IRAC installed. So go back to the tablet here. Okay, and I'm gonna just zoom in for when we taxi over to, I believe will be runway 34 right for departure. As a matter of fact, we're gonna get that going right now. Let's see what Addis has for us.
Landing and departing runway 34 center, 34 right. Numerous cranes in operation around Seattle, Tacoma. Advise on initial contact, you have information, India. Seattle, Tacoma Airport information, India. 2323 wind 345 at 10. Visibility 10. The clouds at 3,200. Temperature 12, 2.02. Altimeter 3023. Landing and departing runway 34 center, 34 right. Numerous cranes in operation around Seattle, Tacoma. Advise on initial contact, you have information. SkyWest 3989 ready to pick up higher.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to probably get runway 34 right, and that's what SimBrief assigned me as well. So we're going to continue setting up here.
Cleared to Malin Sweetfield Airport, Arab 6 departure, with the arrayed transition, then is filed. Climb via SID except maintain 3000. Departure frequency tree 65, squawk tree 766.
Cleared to Malin Sweetfield Airport, Arab 6 departure, with the arrayed transition, then is filed. Climb via SID except maintain 3000. Departure frequency tree 65, squawk tree 766. SkyWest 3989.
SkyWest 3989, read back correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. SkyWest 3989.
Alaska 956, looking to pick up our clearance to Portland.
Alaska 956, Seattle clearance, cleared to Portland Airport. Radar vectors VUSO, then is filed. Maintain 4,000 feet. Expect 15,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 133.65. Squawk tree 700.
Cleared to Portland Airport. Radar vectors VUSO, then is filed. Maintain 4,000 feet. Expect 15,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 133.65, squawk 3700, Alaska 956.
Alaska 956, read back correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 121.7 when ready, Alaska 956.
Okay, SimBrief also assigned us runway 28 left. I am going to test the RNAV approach since there has been a significant update to the way the aircraft uses this data. And looking at our SimBrief flight plan, just 1 second. I'm looking at it on the Windows screen, so you won't see it on the recording. So we are expecting
Hold short runway 34 right, SkyWest 3989. SkyWest 3840, cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec. Cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec. SkyWest 3840.
Okay, so we're expecting Kilo Papa Alpha Tango Romeo 2 arrival into Portland's 28 left with the Buzo transition. So we're gonna go ahead. Oh, okay, so I'm reading it phonetically, but remembering what part of the country we're in. It's the Crater 2 arrival. Just took me a while to guess that. I guess it's been a long work day. So let's go ahead and put in Crater 2. Crater 2. Buzo transition. And let me figure out what the best transition waypoint is here. 1 second. So let's look at Arnav Zulu for 28 left.
SkyWest 3989, cross runway.
It looks like we're going to be using the hipster transition.
Cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec. SkyWest 3989. SkyWest 3989, contact Seattle Tower 120.905. Contact Tower 120.905, SkyWest 3989.
Okay, so now we're going to just do a performance. Going to try to get out of here as quickly as possible. Okay, performance here. Oops. See, I'm used to the performance being on the far right, so now I gotta remember that now I have my ground operations on the far right of the tablet. Okay, so we're gonna input our data. Runway 34 right, aircraft data imported.
Jazz 807, runway 34 center.
Okay, derated takeoff.
Short runway 34 right. Runway 34 center taxi via Whiskey, Bravo, Quebec. Hold short runway 34 right, Jazz 807. Delta 2281.
Okay, derated takeoff. Assumed temperature 51 Celsius.
Delta 2281, Seattle ground, pushback and engine start approved, face west. Pushback and engine start approved, face west, Delta 22.
So we have flaps 5, 146, 147, 152. I'm gonna need to adjust my track IR. 1 second. Okay, that's much better.
Alaska 654, Seattle ground, pushback and engine start approved, face northeast. Pushback approved.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take those numbers. Very close match. We'll set it here on DMCP. Our initial heading would be 344. So I'm going to go ahead and arm heading and arm VNAV. And we should have a very low cruise altitude. So right now we have 140 for cruise. Beyond ATC might send me a little higher. It doesn't always agree with the aircraft or with SimBrief, but that's fine. It's usually only by a few thousand feet. This is one of the shortest 737-900 flights, or basically 737 NG flights in the country. We're 139 nautical miles from Portland with the flight path into consideration. It's shorter in a straight line, of course. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and activate Stephanie, my FS2 crew first officer, and we'll continue our setup here.
Runway 34 center taxi via Whiskey, Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right, Delta 2281.
Pre-flight checklist.
Alaska 654, ready to taxi to the active.
Oxygen.
Alaska 654, runway 34
Tested 100%.
via Bravo, Quebec.
Tested
Hold short,
100%.
runway 34 right.
Navigation transfer and display
Runway
switches.
34 center taxi via Bravo, Quebec. Hold short,
Normal
runway
auto.
34 right,
Windows
Alaska
heat. On.
654.
Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Flight instruments.
Set and checked.
Heading 094. Altimeter 3023. Parking brake.
Alaska 67, Seattle ground.
Released.
And engine start
Engine
approved.
start levers.
Face northwest. Pushback and
Cut off.
engine start approved.
Pre-flight
Face
checklist
northwest.
completed.
Alaska 67.
Are you ready for the departure briefing?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to be pushing back from the gate, going over to runway 34 right. We're going to be vectored out of Seattle this evening. There are no threats in the immediate area. Addis did mention the crane activity at the airport. We are on D-rated takeoff. Bleeds on. We are underweight, so we should be able to return quickly and within safety margins should we need to. There is no NTIS requirement.
3369.
APU off.
Pushback approved. Face south.
And as I mentioned, we'll be vectored out of here.
Skywest 3369.
Any questions?
No questions.
Alaska 67, request taxi to the active.
Alaska 67, runway 34 center taxi via Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right.
Runway 34 center taxi via Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right, Alaska 67.
Before start checklist.
Stand by.
Skywest 3369, request taxi to the active. Skywest 3369, runway 34 center taxi via Whiskey, Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right. Runway 34 center taxi via Whiskey, Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right, Skywest 3369.
Alaska 956 at gate 15. Request pushback and engine start.
Horizon Air 2117, Gate Bravo 3, Alpha Taxi via Bravo, Whiskey.
Gate Bravo 3, Alpha Taxi via Bravo, Whiskey, Horizon Air 2117.
Alaska 956, Seattle ground, pushback and engine start approved, face northeast.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast. Alaska 956.
Before start checklist.
Flight deck door closed and locked. MCP.
Set and checked.
Takeoff speeds.
Set and checked.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Rudder and aileron trim.
Free and zero.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Anti-collision light on. Before start checklist completed. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Start sequence is 2 then 1.
Check.
Start engine 2.
Starting engine 2.
Delta 2281, cross runway 34, right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec.
Cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec. Delta
Oil pressure.
2281.
Delta 2281, contact Seattle Tower 120.9 or 5.
Contact Tower 120.9 or 5. Delta 2281.
Alaska 1137, gate Delta 1 taxi via Bravo.
Gate Delta 1 taxi via Bravo, Alaska 1137.
Alaska 654, hold position for traffic. Hold position Alaska 654. Alaska 654, continue taxi. Continue taxi Alaska 654. Alaska 654, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back. Hold position Alaska 654. Alaska 346, ramp
Starter
17,
cutoff.
request pushback and engine start.
Number 2 stable.
Start engine 1.
Alaska 346, Seattle ground, pushback and
Start
engine
engine
start
one.
approved, face northwest. Pushback and engine start approved, face northwest, Alaska 346.
Oil pressure.
Southwest 2446 at gate 10, request pushback and engine start.
Parking brake.
Southwest 2446, Seattle ground, pushback approved, face southwest.
Pushback and engine start approved, face southwest, southwest 2446.
Alaska 654, continue taxi. Continue taxi, Alaska 654. Alaska 654, cross runway 34, right at Quebec, continue taxi via Quebec.
Starter
Cross runway
cutoff.
34, right at Quebec, continue taxi via Quebec, Alaska
Number 1
654.
stable.
Alaska 654, contact Seattle Tower 120.9 or 5, take care.
Flaps 5.
Over to Tower 120.9 or 5, Alaska 654. SkyWest 3369, hold position for traffic.
Connected. Bypass pin removed.
SkyWest 3369.
Left is clear. Right is
SkyWest
clear.
3369, continue taxi.
Flight controls check complete.
SkyWest 3369. SkyWest 3369, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back. Hold position, SkyWest 3369. Horizon Air 2044, gate Bravo 7 Bravo, taxi via hotel, hold short runway 34 right. Gate Bravo 7 Bravo, taxi via hotel. Hold short runway 34 right, Horizon Air 2044.
Alaska 956. Taxi for departure.
SkyWest 3369, continue taxi. Continue taxi, SkyWest 3369. SkyWest 3369, cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec. Cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec, SkyWest 3369. SkyWest 3369, contact Seattle Tower 120.9 or 5, see you. Over to Tower 120.9 or 5, SkyWest 3369. Alaska 956, runway 34 right taxi via Bravo.
Runway 34, right taxi via Bravo, Alaska 956.
Before taxi checklist.
Alaska 67, hold position for traffic.
Generators
Hold position for
on.
traffic, Alaska
Code heat
67.
on. Anti-ice off. Isolation valve
Horizon
on.
Air 2044,
Recall.
cross runway 34 right at hotel. Continue
Checked.
taxi via Juliet
Checked.
Hotel Bravo
Brake.
Alpha Whiskey.
RTO. Engine start levers.
Cross runway 34
Idle detent.
hotel. Continue
Flight
taxi via
controls.
Juliet
Checked.
Hotel Bravo
Ground
Alpha
equipment.
Clear.
Horizon Air
Clear.
2044.
Before taxi checklist completed.
Alaska
Clear left.
Continue taxi.
Continue
Clear
taxi,
right.
Alaska 67. Southwest 2446, taxi for departure.
Southwest 2446, runway 34 center taxi via Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right.
Runway 34 center taxi via Bravo, Quebec. Hold short, runway 34 right, southwest 2446.
Alaska 67, cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec.
Cross runway 34 right at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec, Alaska 67.
Alaska 67, contact Seattle Tower 120.905.
Over to Tower 120.905, Alaska 67.
Alaska 346, taxi for departure. Alaska 346,
Right deck.
runway 34 right, taxi
Okay,
via
thanks.
Bravo.
Captain, the cabin is
Runway
clear.
34
Thank you.
right, taxi via Bravo, Alaska 346. Alaska 956, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
Hold position, Alaska 9er 56.
I'm gonna ignore that one because there's no traffic around me. So beyond ATC, I'm using the experimental version, so I stay up to date with the latest developments on beyond ATC. So there could be little buggy issues like that where I just got
Continue taxi, Alaska.
asked to hold, but there's nothing around me to justify me holding. So I'm just gonna keep taxiing. I'm not gonna get yelled at or anything.
Pushback and engine start.
American 2405, Seattle ground, pushback and engine start.
And I probably was asked to hold because there's a southwest in front of me, but I was very far from the southwest when I was told to hold. So I'm just gonna go around it.
Alaska 853 at gate 18, request pushback.
Alaska 853, Seattle ground, pushback approved, face west.
Pushback and engine start approved, face west, Alaska 853.
Delta 422, gate 2, request pushback and engine start.
Delta 422, Seattle ground, pushback and engine start approved, face south.
Pushback approved, face south, Delta 422.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flaps.
5 green light.
Stabilizer trim.
Set and checked.
Before takeoff checklist completed.
Alaska 9er 56, contact Seattle Tower 120.905.
Over to Tower 120.905, Alaska 9er 56. Alaska 9er 56, ready for departure. Runway 34 right.
Alaska 9er 56, hold short of 34 right.
Affirm. Hold short of 34 right, Alaska 9er 56.
Alaska 385, exit right at Lima.
Exit right at Lima, Alaska 385.
So Stephanie's tablet is just,
62, visual runway 34.
I guess, cycling, but it's not doing anything.
West 4162.
Might be a bug with the early release. Clicking on it to see if anything happens, but nope. That's fine. I got my EFB running.
Alaska 651.
Before takeoff procedure.
Runway 34
Okay,
right, clear to
cabin
land.
crew, take your seats.
Runway 34 right, cleared
Clear
to
on the
land,
approach.
Alaska 651.
Ready to go.
So right now on the inbound, we got a couple of aircraft are probably very close together. So one of them's gonna have to go around, but one of the features that Beyond ATC will implement is better sequencing and separation. And I'm actually really looking forward to that.
Exit right at Lima.
It's gonna make for a more realistic experience. For example, when I'm landing and if there's an AI aircraft next to me, above me, just below me, I'm gonna go ahead and land it anyways. And I just patiently wait until we have those updates in place.
Alaska 346, ready to go, runway 34 right.
Alaska 346, hold short of 34 right, arriving traffic.
Wilco, hold short of 34 right, Alaska 346.
Alaska 1094, monitor ground 121.7.
Ground 121.7, Alaska 1094, have a good one.
So it's been about 9 years since I've flown into Seattle, but I think realistically, runway 34 right is mostly a takeoff runway, as well as 34 center. But you can see a lot of the land. Well, actually, I'm mistaken. No, 34 center is closer to the terminal, so it's a quicker departure. And yeah, here 34 right does make sense for landings. As a matter of fact, I was plane spotting and taking pictures from here, so that makes sense.
Runway 34 center clear to land.
And this Alaska was given permission ahead of me. Let me make sure I'm not getting any takeoff clearance. So what I might do is just take off on my own.
Alaska 651, monitor ground 121.7.
Ground 121.7, Alaska 651.
Okay,
Alaska 346, Seattle Tower, wind 345 at 10, RNAV to Nezza, runway 34 right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 34 right, RNAV to Nezza, cleared for takeoff, Alaska 346.
Delta 422, ready for departure, runway 34 right.
okay, I'm gonna switch to departure, and we're gonna get going. And when I said that, Beyond ETC went ahead and died on me, so I'm gonna restart it in the meantime. Take off. As soon as Beyond ETC restarts, there'll be AI aircraft on the ground. I want to just let it restart first, because when it's spawning the traffic, it will temporarily cause us a downward spike in FPS. So I want to make sure we have a smooth takeoff. And it's going to be a very nice visual conditions here. So you definitely want to see a very smooth roll down the runway as opposed to a stuttery one. So let me see if Beyond ETC is going to be back online or not. Just give me a few seconds here. Okay, so it's connecting. And I'll probably get a new squawk code for departure. Alright, so there is the populated traffic. Let me just sweep around a few times, make sure the FPS is good. Okay, we're ready to go.
02 tree, expect the visual approach runway tree 4 right. Altimeter tree 02 tree, expect the visual approach runway tree 4 right, sky west 3436. Sky west 3436. Fly present heading, descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Altimeter tree 02
Thrust
tree.
set.
Vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 24 miles. Fly present heading, descend and maintain
Check.
5,000 feet. Altimeter tree 02 tree. Sky west 3436.
V1. Rotate. positive climb.
Gear up.
Feet.
Okay, I'm gonna reconnect with Beyond TC again in a few minutes. It's being a little buggy this evening. I want to focus on checking out the airplane. One thing I'm noticing with the airplane, very smooth handling on departure here. That's one of the improvements mentioned on Robert's post in the forum today. Barely making any corrections. Haven't had to calibrate my sensitivities or anything. It's flying beautifully right now.
Check.
And I gotta remember to mute my first officer so it doesn't respond to my voice so often. Flaps 1.
Autopilot on.
Flaps up. After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Engine blades on. Packs auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up. No lights. After takeoff checklist complete. Happy to release the cabin crew?
Go for it.
Okay.
Skywest 3436.
Seattle Center, Alaska Niner 56, 7,900.
Alaska Niner 56, reset transponder, squawk 4062.
4062 in the box, Alaska Niner 56.
Alaska Niner 56, Seattle Center, radar contact, climb, maintain 15,000 feet, altimeter 3023.
Climb, maintain 15,000 feet. Altimeter 3023, Alaska Niner 56. 10,000. Happy to release the cabin?
Okay.
Okay.
One feature imported from the 777 is the use of the weather radar, but we have a very lovely evening here in Seattle, so I'm just gonna go ahead and light up the terrain radar for a little while. Yeah, you can already see these are the Cascades, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see Mount Rainier, and closer to Portland we'll see Mount Hood, Mount St. Helens as well before Mount Hood. So yeah, it's a very scenic part of the country. And ATC gave us 150 for cruise, so I mentioned it was going to be a little different from SimBrief. So we're going to go ahead and make that adjustment real quick. And given the short duration of our flight, I am going to start looking at data for Portland. Okay, I clicked on ground operations again because I'm very used to performance tool being on the right side of the tablet, but I just gotta remember it's just like the 777 now, so I should be a lot more standardized as I get used to this very nice improvement to the 737. I really like it so far. So let's do our landing calculation for runway 28 left, and I'm aware we could get reassigned, but just as to get an idea of landing conditions. So 28 left, outer brake 3, that'll get us out of the runway pretty fast and very close to our gate, to the Alaska Airlines gate area, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So that's going to have us at 149, 149 knots with flaps 30. Okay, we're leveled off, so let me I know in theory we should wait for ATC to tell us what arrival to expect. I'm gonna go ahead and assume the SimBrief designator is gonna be our arrival procedure. So again, we're expecting crater 2 for runway 28 left, and again, given the massive improvements that PMDG made, I am going to concentrate on the RNAV approach. Whether we get visual or ILS, for me it will be irrelevant. I want to see how well RNAV is working. Okay, so let me get back to my flight bag here, and so here's our approach depicted. And I'm also gonna go through the briefing with Stephanie in a few seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and configure it on FS2 Crew.
Contact Seattle Center 126.6, Alaska 9er 56. Seattle Center, Alaska 9er 56, 15,100 feet.
Alaska 9er 56, Seattle Center, roger. Alaska 9er 56, Seattle Center, expect crater 2, runway 28 left.
Okay, we got the assignment that SimBrief said, so let's go ahead and accept.
Expect crater 2, runway 28 left, Alaska 9er 56.
Okay, almost done with the briefing here. So just a few more seconds and we'll get going. You have control.
I have control.
Are you ready for the approach briefing?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're doing Crater 2 into Portland today. Expecting runway 28 left. We'll be conducting the RNP approach. The runway is dry. Missed approach altitude 4,000. Final approach fixed altitude 2,000. Auto brake 3. No threats in the immediate area. We'll be at flaps 30. I'm gonna turn off engine number 1. Once we start taxiing into the gate, we should be very close to the gate, as I mentioned earlier. Bliss will be on. We're gonna be parking at a gate today. Any questions?
No questions. Alaska 956, ready for descent.
Alaska 956, descend via Crater 2 arrival, Portland Airport landing runway, 28 left, altimeter 3015.
Descend via Crater 2 arrival, Portland Airport landing runway, 28 left, altimeter 3015, Alaska 956.
Alaska 956, contact Seattle Center 124.2.
Contact Seattle Center 124.2, Alaska 956. Good day, Seattle Center, Alaska 956, descending via Crater 2, 15,100.
Alaska 956, Seattle Center, roger.
I have control.
You have control.
Descent checklist.
Pressurization. Landing altitude is 0 feet. Recall. Checked. Auto brake. Level 3. Landing data.
Set and checked.
VREF 149. Minimums 374 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist completed.
So as I mentioned, we have a beautiful evening in this very scenic part of the country. We are in the middle fall period, so right now it is 5:14 p.m. here, but already close to sunset. And yeah, great view of the mountains. So if I remember my geography correctly, that's Mount Rainier over there. And the flattened out one here is Mount St. Helens, the very famous explosion back in 1980. And the one that is closest to Portland is Mount Hood. So I know all these peaks along the Cascades, there's quite a few of them. And there's going to be more snow as we get closer to winter on them. So again, very, very scenic part of the country. It's a part of the country that's has that stereotype of London and other cities that is can be very rainy and foggy, but you can also get some very beautiful days like today.
WestJet 1355, Seattle Center, roger.
So I'm gonna put VNAV and LNAV to the test here with the new improvements, and really hoping this RNAV RNP approach really works. Let me look at some more parameters here before we continue, or before we start descending. So it's going to be a 0.27 on the RMP. So yeah, we're going to dial this in. Yeah, hopefully this is going to give us a pretty smooth RNP arrival. I've done this on the 777 and it works really well. So And it worked before this upgrade, 737 upgrade. So I did a couple of RMP approaches, and I'm trying to get away from ILS unless it's absolutely necessary. I really enjoy the RMP a lot more. Okay, so we capture descent. Yep, and there is Mount St. Helens. So yeah, it definitely blew its top 44 years ago. Very famous story.
Alaska 956, contact Portland approach 126.9er.
Contact Portland approach 126.9er, Alaska 9er 56. Portland, Alaska 9er 56, 13,500 feet, with information Lima.
Alaska 9er 56, Portland approach, good day, altimeter 3012. Expect a visual approach, runway 28 left.
Altimeter 3012, expect the visual approach runway 28 left, Alaska 9er 56.
Approach checklist.
Altimeters
3012 set.
3012 set. Approach checklist completed.
Horizon Air 2394, contact Seattle Center 125.8.
Contact Seattle Center 125.8, Horizon Air 2394.
$10,000. Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be arriving at our destination shortly. If you are making a connection to another flight, please see the customer service agent meeting the flight or video monitors inside the terminal for connecting gate information. For your continued
And now that since I am flying Alaska Airlines and this major update is going to make the RMP approaches more usable, I am definitely going to take out the Dash 700 and the Dash 800 up to Alaska and do those milk run flights. I've done them on P3D and on this platform before the update came out. Those flights are a lot of fun. They can be very short and very challenging because of the terrain, the weather, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I have my aviation history correctly. Alaska is one of the very first airlines to have implemented the RMP approaches. And there are a lot of good sceneries for Alaska's airports that are served by Alaska's 737s, mainly from Northern Sky. And the major one in Anchorage is from Aerosoft. But yeah, Northern Sky will help you complete your Alaska milk run and generally other Alaskan airports collection. Flaps 1.
Flight deck. Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin is secure.
Portland, SkyWest 6243, 12,100 with information Lima.
SkyWest 6243, Portland approach. Good day. Altimeter 3012. Expect the ILS runway 28 right via Shafar.
Altimeter 3012, expect the ILS runway 28 right via Shaffer. SkyWest 6243.
Alaska 956, leave shine heading 125. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 28 left.
Leave shine heading 125. Expect radar vectors for visual approach. Runway 28 left, Alaska 956.
When I get a visual approach, I'm very tempted to disengage the autopilot very early, hand fly the aircraft, including manual throttle.
Alaska 956, turn right heading 245.
But again, since it's my first flight with the major update, I want to continue to monitor how this RNAV is going to perform,
Alaska 956,
which so far is performing
heading 2
flawlessly.
Intercept the 28 left localizer, descend and maintain 2,500 feet, altimeter 3012.
Turn right, heading 235. Intercept the 28 left localizer. Descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Altimeter 3012, Alaska 956. 1,000 to level.
SkyWest 6243, cleared direct chaffer, cross chaffer at or above 6,700, cleared ILS runway 28 right. Cleared direct chaffer, cross chaffer at or above 6,700, cleared ILS runway 28 right, SkyWest 6243. Alaska 956, airport is at your 2 o'clock, 16 miles. Report the field in sight.
Okay, we got the field inside.
Field in sight, Alaska 956.
Alaska 956, cleared visual approach runway 28 left.
Cleared visual approach 28 left, Alaska 956.
Flaps 5.
Alaska 956, contact Portland Tower 119.0.
Contact Tower 119.0, Alaska 956. Take care. Cabin crew, take your seats. Portland Tower, Alaska 956. Visual runway 28 left.
Alaska 956, Portland Tower, wind tree, 25 runway 28 left, clear to land.
Runway 28 left, clear to land, Alaska 956.
Cleared. Flaps 15. Gear down.
Checked. Final approach fixed, height checked, missed approach altitude not set.
Okay, missed approach altitude set to 4,000. Flaps 30. Landing checklist.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
30 green light.
Landing checklist completed.
Okay, there was a little bit of porpoising when the RNP engaged.
Stable.
Continue. But again, it's captured, it's following the descent path. I'm really liking this. So I'll go ahead and disengage here in a few more seconds, but I want to just see it make its way downward. Manual flight.
Checked. Autopilot off.
Landing.
Airspeed hold. Airspeed hold. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Speed brake up. Reversers normal. Auto brake disarmed.
Manual braking.
Checked. 60 knots.
Portland Tower, SkyWest 6243. ILS runway 28 right. Alaska 956, exit right at Bravo 2.
Exit right at Bravo 2, Alaska 956.
Okay to clean up.
SkyWest 6243.
Roger.
Portland Tower, wind tree 25 at 4. Runway 28 right, clear to land.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the
Runway 28 right, clear to land. SkyWest 6243. Alaska 956, contact ground 121.9er. Have a good one.
Ground 121.9er, Alaska 9er 56. Have a good one.
We'd like to thank you for flying with us today. We appreciate your business and hope to see you again on a future flight.
Engine went off.
Alaska 9er 56, request taxi to allocated gate.
Alaska 956, gate Charlie 14 taxi via Tango.
Gate Charlie 14 taxi via Tango, Alaska 9er 56.
Yeah, so during approach, I had a little bit of a senior moment. Thought I was in a 777 and I was not manually using my throttle, so that's why we had that airspeed warning. So I apologize for that. But made a quick correction. But we had a pretty smooth landing. Again, I really enjoyed the RNP capturing and taking us on down. Again, the aircraft did porpoise a little bit, but I'm sure that's something they can fix if it is related to the update. But the aircraft handling on manual during takeoff and landing has been amazing. It's handling really well. So I would suggest reading the update message that Rob posted on the forum to understand everything that was incorporated into this major update. I'm definitely going to be enjoying this NG flights for a very long time, regardless of how long PMDG takes to do the max. So I'm going to be doing a lot of 777, 737 flying for the medium term at least. It never gets sold for me, so I'm going to just keep doing that. Start the APU.
Starting the APU. Three minutes.
Lights and doors.
Check. Cabin crew disarm doors and cross-check.
And the aircraft does very well on the ground with single engine taxi. I never had any issues.
APU on the bus.
If you recall the FSX days, the FS 2000 days, FS 98 days. If you doing one engine, back then the simulator would think you're in the air, so it starts using a lot of the engine's inertia to pull you, even if you were on the ground, which didn't make a lot of sense. But now it's really smooth.
243, gate Charlie 21 taxi via Kilo Tango. Gate Charlie 21 taxi via Kilo Tango, SkyWest 6243.
Okay, one thing I do want to check, I noticed at the gate in Seattle, the remove chocks, okay, now it's working. So I guess GSX set my chocks automatically, or maybe my first officer did on the tablet. Well, actually my first officer doesn't have a tablet working, so maybe GSX did that. So I'm going to go ahead and set the chocks. And then I keep clicking here. Set chocks. Okay, chock set. Let me release a parking brake. Parking brake released. Got some ground power going. And we got deboarding started. Perfect. So let's do our shutdown checklist. And we are assuming, well, we're not assuming, we're flying a US airline. It's not the end of the day just yet, so I'm only going to do a shutdown. There's no need to do a secure checklist. I'm just going to assume Stephanie and I are going to fly back to Seattle in a few minutes. But I'm just going to finish here with this shutdown and some final comments. Shutdown checklist.
Fuel pumps off. Probe heat auto. Hydraulic panel set. Flaps.
Up.
Parking brake.
Released.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Off. Shutdown checklist completed.
Okay, I'm gonna mute Stephanie here and just make some final comments. So this is the upgrade to the 737. So it's been about two years since the Dash 800 came out from PMDG. It's been about 3 years since the Dash 700 came out. So yeah, they cut up to a 777. Robert said to expect a couple more updates to this. I'm sure they're gonna iron out a few more things. But this has really given me a very nice life extension to the 737 flights that I'm going to be doing. Really enjoyed the handling, the better nav data usage. It's using the new set of nav data that the 777 uses. The RNP approach was great. Amazing manual flight, manual handling. As you can tell, I'm not a real world pilot, but again, very enjoyable. So if you haven't downloaded it, go ahead and get it. I highly recommend it. If you've never bought PMDG's 737, please go ahead and do so. You will never regret it. PMDG has given me a very nice aircraft flexibility between the 737, 777 for short, medium, long haul flying. So have a great rest of the evening here in the USA. Good morning to Asia. Sweet dreams to Europe, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.